The lifestyle of Rowan Atkinson. Rowan Atkinson, or Mr. Bean as he's more widely known, is an English actor, comedian, and writer. He was born on the 6th of January 1955 and first became known for his work in the BBC sketch comedy show Not the 9 O'Clock News. Rowan would later become much better known as Mr. Bean, and of course for the sitcom Blackadder. Remember to give this video a like and subscribe to this channel for more videos on your favorite celebrities. Rowan was born in Consett, County Durham, England. He was born the youngest of 4 boys, though one of his brothers, Paul, sadly died as an infant. Along with his 2 other brothers, Rowan attended school alongside Tony Blair, a former UK Prime Minister. While Rowan became famous for his sense of humor, you might be surprised to know that he did really well at school. After receiving top grades in Science A-levels, Rowan secured a place at Newcastle University, where he received a degree in electrical and electronic engineering. In fact, in the mid-70s, he continued for the degree of MSc in electrical engineering at the Queen's College in Oxford, the same college where his father enrolled in 1935, which made Rowan an honorary fellow in 2006. He very briefly embarked in doctoral work before devoting his full attention to acting. Thank goodness, right? Rowan got his start in acting by performing sketches while studying at Oxford. He first appeared in Oxford revenues at the Edinburgh Festival Fringe, but soon went on to entertain at theatre clubs and on comedy shows for BBC Radio 3. This led to a meeting with the writer Richard Curtis and composer Howard Goodall, with whom he would continue to collaborate during the rest of his career. His work with BBC Radio 3 was on a series of comedy shows called The Atkinson People. It consisted of a series of satirical interviews with fictional great men who were played by Rowan himself. The series was written by Rowan, as you probably guessed from the name of the show, and Richard Curtis. After university, Rowan moved on to television by doing a once-off pilot for London Weekend Television in 1979. The show was called Can Laughter. He then went back to the BBC for a show called Not the 9 O'Clock News, where he featured alongside Pamela Stephenson, Griff Rhys-Jones, and Mel Smith. He was also one of the show's main sketch writers. The show's success led to much bigger things. In 1983, Rowan went on to star as Edmund Blackadder in the slapstick comedy series Blackadder. He went on to appear in all 4 series, the only one of the cast to appear in all seasons actually. When Blackadder ended in 1989, Rowan created the hapless character Mr. Bean. The show first appeared on New Year's Day in 1990 in a half-hour special for Thames Television. The character of Mr. Bean has been likened to a modern-day Buster Keaton, but Rowan himself says that Jacques Tati's character Monsieur Hulot was actually the main inspiration. The show successfully ran until 1995, and then the much-loved character appeared in a feature film titled Bean in 1997. A second film, Mr. Bean's Holiday, was released in 2007. During 1995 and 96, Rowan also appeared in The Thin Blue Line as Inspector Raymond Fowler. The television sitcom plays out in a police station located in the fictitious town of Gasforth. Before filming the Johnny English franchise in 2003, Rowan fronted several campaigns for Cronenberg, Fujifilm, and Give Blood, amongst others. It was his rather hapless and error-prone espionage agent character created for Barclays adverts that inspired the Johnny English films. The Johnny English franchise went on to produce 3 films: Johnny English released in 2003, Johnny English Reborn released in 2011, and Johnny English Strikes Again released in 2017. Rowan has, however, appeared in quite a few other movies throughout his career. Films such as the 1994 film 4 Weddings and a Funeral, Maybe Baby in 2000, Rat Race in 2001, Scooby-Doo in 2002, and Love Actually in 2003. He has even lent his voice to several projects. Rowan most notably voiced the character of Zazu in The Lion King back in 1994. As Mr. Bean, Rowan also appeared in 4 different music videos and even as a bartender in the Ollie Murs music videos Moves in 2008. In 2012, Rowan revived Mr. Bean and appeared at the Summer Olympics opening ceremony in London. In the sketch, Mr. Bean performed, and we use the term very loosely, Chariots of Fire in a repeated single note on a synthesizer. He then lapsed into a dream sequence in which he joined the runners from the film of the same name, beating them in their iconic run along West Sands at St. Andrews by riding in a minicab and tripping the front runner. His performance was a hit. While Rowan isn't currently married, he was married to Sunetra Sastry. The couple got married in 1990 but divorced in 2015, and they have 2 children. At the moment, Rowan is dating comedian Louise Ford, and in 2017, they welcomed their first child. The pair started dating 2014, shortly after Rowan and Sunetra decided to file for divorce, just in case you were hoping for some scandalous news. Together with Louise, Rowan lives in Epsom near Wallingford, Oxon, though he also has a home in North London. The 5-bedroom house includes a drawing room, sitting room, kitchen, breakfast day room, half cellar, and family room with bedroom/office above. The house also includes an indoor swimming pool, tennis courts, and gardens to boot. The property also includes a 4-bay garage because Rowan is a true car enthusiast. He owns a few of the best luxury cars in the world. His collection included a rare McLaren F1 supercar, which is said to have sold for around £8 million, even though he crashed it twice. This incredible car has a V12 engine with a 627 brake horsepower, 0 to 60 in 3.2 seconds, and a max speed of 243 miles per hour. Current cars in his fine collection include a 1938 BMW 328, a 1952 Jaguar MK7, an Aston Martin V8 Vantage, Honda NCX, and for a more relaxed drive, a Rolls-Royce Phantom and Bentley Mulsanne. Those cars sure sound a lot better than that yellow buggy thing he drives around in Mr. Bean. Oh my god, the yellow buggy. What about the blue 3-wheel thing he keeps messing around with? It tips a couple times. Oh man, can you run that, editor? Thank you. Okay, so excuse me, it's the green Mini and the blue Reliant Regal he used to topple over every time. It's absolutely hilarious. The Leland Mini 1000 Mark IV, it's actually called. And the blue Regal that always gets it is the Reliant Regal. Absolutely hilarious. Just in case you wanted to know. And did you know that Rowan holds a category C+E, formerly known as a Class 1 lorry driver's license? How weird, but cool, right? Apparently, Rowan got the license in 1981 because lorries held a fascination for him. He has even used this somewhat secret skill when filming comedy material. In 1991, he starred in the self-pen The Driven Man, a series of sketches featuring him driving around London trying to solve his obsession with cars and discussing it with taxi drivers, policemen, used car salesmen, and even psychotherapists. Rowan's fascination with cars has even seen him participate in racing. Pretty hard to imagine Rowan Atkinson racing, right? I mean, he also appeared as a racing driver, Henry Birkin, in the television play Full Throttle in 1995. In July 2001, he crashed an Aston Martin V8 Zagato at an enthusiast meeting, but walked away unhurt, thank goodness. We never said he was a good driver, just that he's fascinated by cars. Rowan crashing the Aston Martin happened while he was competing in the Aston Martin Owners Club event at the Croft Racing Circuit in Darlington. Since then, he obviously got a lot better at driving fast because in 2011, he appeared as the star in a reasonably priced car on Top Gear. Rowan drove the Kia Ceed around the track in a minute 42.2, which at the time granted him first place on the leaderboard, with only Matt LeBlanc having set a faster time in the same car. Rowan's list of awards is disappointingly short. In 1981, he won a Lawrence Oliver Award for Best Comedy Performance for Rowan Atkinson in Review. And in 1990, he won a British Academy Television Award for Best Entertainment Performance for his work on Blackadder and Not the 9 O'Clock News. The same year, he also won a British Comedy Award for Best Entertainment Performer. Nonetheless, he has a rather dashing net worth estimated at $150 million. We will always, of course, think of Mr. Bean when we hear the name Rowan Atkinson, and the English comedian knows that all too well. In fact, Rowan is developing a new animated Mr. Bean feature film. In an interview with Deadline, Rowan explains that he's in the development stages of putting together an animated Mr. Bean film. This format actually seems better suited to both Mr. Bean character and Rowan himself. He, however, adds that even though Mr. Bean has been important to his career, he doesn't actually enjoy playing the character in a live-action setting. He says, "It's easier for me to perform the character vocally than visually. I don't much enjoy playing him. The weight of the responsibility is not pleasant. So with an animated film, that responsibility playing Mr. Bean will be that much easier to bear." And this might be just our last chance to see some fresh new Mr. Bean material, because Rowan has also mentioned that he wants to be done playing the character soon and that he's looking forward to the end of his time. Did he really say that? He did? Okay. It definitely indicates that Rowan is ready to move over to new projects, but we unfortunately have no concrete news on what those projects might be just yet. Although it might be that he plans on just buying more cars, or he might just plan on writing more about cars. But Mr. Atkinson, if you want something to do with cars, just do me this one favor. I'm just saying, Mr. Bean, please give us some more Mr. Bean, like actual live action Mr. Bean. I'm talking about getting back into that green Mini and toppling over that blue What was it? Yeah, that blue Regal Reliant. It definitely points out that Rowan's ready to move on, but we unfortunately had no concrete news on what those projects might be. But did we forget to mention that Rowan also writes for Car Magazine? Yep, he is one of the magazine's regular featured writers. Rowan is renowned for living a very private life, and because he struggles with a stutter at times, he doesn't really like to do a lot of interviews, so it's hard to say whether he will soon be returning to our screens or whether he's just going to retire. So for now, we'll leave you with one of our favorite Rowan Atkinson quotes. To be successful, you don't need a beautiful face and heroic body. What you need is a skillful mind and ability to perform. Hey everybody, thanks for watching. Head on over to the comment section and let us know what you thought of this video, or leave us a few tips on who you want to see next.